Askreddit Asks, serious Redditors who felt like they would never ever find a romantic partner and then did. What advice would you give to those who feel the same way now?
Keep putting yourself out there. You're not gonna meet your future someone by sitting at home alone, unless it's the food delivery person, I guess.
Even if you only have one friend,
or none, who is available that day and can join you. Still try to go to concerts, bars, bookstores, restaurants, etc. alone. Also, just because things don't happen romantically with someone doesn't mean cut them off. Sometimes people are meant to just be a fun friend, acquaintance, and you can expand your social circle through them. And meet a romantic partner from that. Edit. Fixed a word.
Removed.
I was so painfully shy and insecure when I was younger. I didn't believe anyone would see anything valuable in me. I would say, don't get caught up in thinking you're unlovable. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with people. I spent a lot of time pushing people away because I feared rejection so much.
Removed.
Did you end up getting over that? How?
I know it sounds weird. But stop looking and find a hobby that can involve other people. I swear women can smell desperation and loneliness. After a couple of years of dating after my divorce, zillions of first dates and women who had no long-term potential. I gave up. I just did my own thing. Worked on my cars with a local car club. Took care of the kids when I had them. Eventually, the woman I never would have sought out unexpectedly came along. Been married 16 years now.
Did she come along from one of your hobbies?
Get out of the house. People aren't going to show up to your front door. The more social events, places you go to, the better. I know people who complain about there not being anyone out there for them, but they never give themselves the opportunity to meet new people. Removed.
I spent much of the last 5 years thinking I was done with dating. That I'd be single forever. That women my age weren't interested in guys like me. Etc. Make an excuse. I was probably telling it to myself. I've tried online dating. I've tried getting out there and widening my social circles. Doing new things. I'd had a few very brief trysts arise from my efforts. But real connections felt very scarce. Which to me seemed preposterous. I live in a very progressive state. With tons of smart, kind, witty, wild women who are involved, aware, and active. But for all my efforts to meet and hold the attention of one, I was only feeling more and more defeated over time. The best thing you can do, I think, is to just do you. Find joy in your daily routine. In the aspects of your life that you choose. Be into you. Someone is going to notice. Confidence and comfort in your own skin is probably the most attractive quality one can project. Are you a little bit weird? Fucking go with it. Own it. Revel in it. Someone out there is gonna find your quirks adorable. Even sexy. I'm 35 years old and I still have trouble believing myself to be an attractive individual. But I am also an incredibly harsh critic of myself. And I think many of us are. too. Just accept and love yourself. Embrace and live the shit out of your life. Someone is going to want in. Edit. Wow. Rip. My inbox. First Reddit gold. Thank you. Kind internet stranger.
I didn't meet my wife until I was 30. My 20s were quite lonely, having had only one real girlfriend. Now that I'm married with 2 kids, my advice for anyone younger and trying to meet a partner in life is that you need to be upfront about your feelings and not be concerned about rejection. None of the rejection will matter when you get older. In the moment it can feel bad, but instead you should think, oh well, they didn't like me, I will go try another one. TLDR. Not everyone is going to like you. And that's okay, just keep trying until you find someone that does. Edit. A word edit too. People are much more often attracted to a personality, rather than on looks alone. If you show a potential partner that you are kind, generous, thoughtful, etc., they could be more likely to find you attractive in the future. Just don't lose faith in yourself and stay positive. Become okay on your own first and foremost, and recognize that there are things about yourself that people will not like and will disqualify you from the dating pool, and that's okay. I lost over 140 pounds and have quite the amount of loose skin, and once I realized that some guys and gals just wouldn't be down for that, and that's alright, I started to be okay. I let potential dates know beforehand, and if they were like, EWW no, then I knew that that wasn't someone I would want in my life anyway. Other guys I told about it would try to shower me with compliments and say, "No, you're perfect," but I could tell they cringed. My current boyfriend saw a picture of my skin, nodded, took a breath and said, "Babe, your shit's fucked. I love that asshole." I always tried to remember something I read. Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the faster it will flutter away. It's when you ignore it, and focus on other things, that it will come land in your hand on its own. Reminds me of a quote from Red vs. Blue. What I've learned is that a great love is a lot like a good memory. When it is there, and you know it is there, but it is just out of reach. It can be all that you think about, and you can focus on it, and try to force it. But the more you do, the more you seem to push it away. But, if you are patient, and you hold still, well maybe, just maybe, it will come to you.
1. You really only need one person. 2. Don't pick someone to fix, or be fixed by. This will only take away your time and emotional energy.
Absolutely true. Pick a partner, not a project.
You say pick as though there is a decision to be made.
Could not agree with this more. Currently going through a divorce because of number 2.
I'd say don't stress it by purposely trying to activate the dating mode on every woman you meet. Just stay it on a friend level and see how it goes. If it develops into something where you think she's interested in more, go for it. If not, then don't ruin the friendship and respect her opinion. In the end, it's a lot of randomness. My first GF came out of nowhere and didn't have the intent to date me. But it went well, for a while lol. That being said, I'm bad at all of that stuff, so take my stuff with a grain of salt. Try to do something that allows you to meet new people. And I don't mean it in a romantic way like go on dates. But, hang out with people. Get to know someone new. This way, even if you don't find someone to date, you can get to know someone and they will introduce you to someone else and so on. I mean, I know it's very easy to just sit at home and be like, well, if it's my fate, she will find me eventually. Especially if you're a girl, like me. It's easy to think this way and not even try to put in any efforts. But it doesn't work this way. Push yourself. Be proactive. Put yourself in situations where you might meet someone, even if they're sometimes not so comfortable for you. Even statistically, the more people you meet, the more are the chances that one of them will end up that special someone.
I don't mean to spoil the mood, but there's a Bo Burnham quote that I think applies here. I would say don't take advice from people like me who have gotten very lucky. We're very biased. Like Taylor Swift telling you to follow your dreams is like a lottery winner telling you, liquidize your assets, buy Powerball tickets. It works. Single quote. If I'm honest, luck was the main factor in me finding my partner. And there's no formula or advice I can pass on for that.
I like this honesty. More PPL need to be this way.
Even if it's random chance. You'll never roll a natural 20 if you don't even pick up the die. Stop trying too hard. It makes you seem needy. Instead, concentrate on getting your shit together and become a functional adult. That's what serious women are looking for. Or at least, the kind you want to build something durable. Looks come as a distant secondary concern. It should be the same for you. By the way, that being said, I'm a very average looking guy who got lucky catching the heart of a drop-dead gorgeous woman. Edit. Seem, not kill, autocorrect.
People always say this, but we see plenty of people with serious mental health problems, addictions or dysfunctional lives in general in relationships.
Don't get so caught up in not having someone and jump into something to settle. Not having someone isn't as bad as being with someone who brings you down. Be patient.
Focus on yourself. That's the most appealing energy you can have. Doing you, your goals, dreams, work, exercise, everything for yourself. Once you radiate positivity and confidence, the whole fucking world comes calling.
So true, like when you shower and 15 minutes later you have to take a huge dump. It always happens like that.
You do you. Hell.
Talk to strangers. That random guy buying cork at Lowe's on Sunday morning probably has a few things going for him. He knows a little something about home maintenance. He's frugal enough to do the job himself. He's not still drunk from last night. He is going to finish his project before the game begins tonight. It's at least worth a chat. Removed.
This is nothing revolutionary, but just putting yourself first and grasping every opportunity that comes your way. One night when I was playing pool with a buddy, I missed an opportunity with a girl because I was too scared to do anything. The next night, someone asked if I wanted to go out for a few drinks. And I really wasn't in the mood. I was still pissed off at myself from the night before, and was in full self-hate mode. But I decided I wasn't going to miss out on any other opportunities and was just gonna do it. So I went out, only thinking about having a good time, drinking beer, shooting pool, playing darts, all the good stuff. Then on the bus on the way home, some girl caught my eye. It was the same girl from the night before. It just seemed like a sign. And of course, I didn't let that opportunity pass me by again. It's only been 6 months. But we're still going strong. And I feel lucky every day to be with her. It still scares me that I very nearly didn't go out that night. If I'd been mopey and miserable, I'd have missed out on the best thing that's happened to me. So just get out there. Try to do more things. And you will find someone when you least expect it. And when a friend asks if you want to do something, say yes. It could just be the best decision you ever make.
Being your best, most genuine self will feel really good in the meantime and ultimately be your most attractive self. They will find you.
I have a story and some advice. I was with my high school sweetheart for 6.5 years. We had been through so much hardship and challenges in our separate lives and together that we thought we were unbreakable. I thought for many years I would end up married to him and we would grow old together. Until I started to doubt that. I started to doubt the love I was getting from him. I started to learn that the love we had wasn't unconditional. I found out that he loved me when his temper wasn't flaring up. I found out that our romance was more of a convenience. Because we lived together and shared bills. Basically, I figured out the love I was getting wasn't the love I wanted. It was warped, manipulative and conditional. Luckily for me, one night he called me and dumped me. Found out later he was blackout drunk. But I held him to his drunk actions. My advice: don't settle for love that puts a band-aid on your problems. Find real love, unconditional love, a partner that wants you to succeed and celebrates your triumphs and comforts you in your defeats. It's not easy, and it's not simple, but all I can stress is don't say, "I love you," just because you know that's what your partner wants to hear. TLDR, not all love is true. Find someone who loves you for you, advocates for you, and builds you up.
People will tell you it'll happen when you stop looking. These people are, in my word, idiots. For me, it happened not when I stopped looking, but when I stopped caring. I realized I could beat myself up only so much before it was having an effect on me. So I dated a little. I looked a little, but I wasn't too worried if I met someone or not. If nothing else, it was either nice nights out, good war stories, maybe some fun, or some combination of the three. The only reason I was even looking was because my therapist suggested keeping my toe in the water, otherwise I probably wouldn't have even had a profile on that app. Don't freak out if you don't have anyone. Hell, don't freak out if you don't want anyone. Nothing wrong with either. If you want to date, focus on having a good time. Focus on enjoying it, and see meeting someone as a kind of bonus. If you're at the age where it feels like all your friends are pairing off, that path feels rougher than it is. But the best I can tell you is to just run with it. And if you can swing it, Go do stuff you want. I'm sure my friends who were married with kids were a little jealous the successive years I spent my birthday in Copenhagen and Prague. I did the Bannerman Island tour one day because I didn't feel like being at home. No other reason. Stuff like that. If you don't have a romantic partner, live your life. In a word, in my word.
I feel like once I finally became comfortable with the idea of being alone, that's when my boyfriend and I started dating. He always has said my independence attracted him to me. I think you need to be okay with not being in a relationship and comfortable being by yourself. Part of a healthy relationship is having space within your relationship. That was something I had never known I was not okay with. I had 2 consecutive bad relationships where I feel like I was dependent on the other person's presence mostly because I didn't trust them if they weren't in my view. I think the idea of being comfortable with yourself as a whole is key. If you're constantly on the prowl and not just enjoying yourself out, they know, be whole and it'll come to you. Try to be more open to different people, different possibilities. I used to think I would like to meet someone that shares similar interests. Harry Potter, reading books, horror movies, etc. Then I met this guy who is also a HP fan and I was so excited. Turned out to be a total jerk. I met my husband later. He was not a HP fan. He doesn't read books and he likes drama movies. But we are so connected in a weird way. We embrace each other's differences and what's important is whether or not you like the same book. Is the value you share about life. Also, just be a bit realistic. If you want to meet someone, try dress up a bit. Find your own style. Maybe wear contact lenses. Unless you are so naturally beautiful. Last thing, instead of thinking, how to meet the right person, how to detect the wrong person and ditch him, her ASAP is more important.
Only speaking for myself. You have to learn how to love yourself. It's a cliche for a reason. It's not anyone's job to fix you but your own. And you won't really let anyone see the real you if you don't like you.
I thought I wasn't ever going to meet someone myself. I figured I would be the odd but cool aunt, with like 4 dogs, who lets you smoke weed in the garage. I was kind of okay with that too at the time. But then I met my husband at one of his shows. I was friends with his guitarist, and went to support her. I met him there, and we started hanging out in the months after that. I think it's important to not dwell on being single. Don't do the, oh boo-hoo me, I'm always single, no one wants me, forever alone. Focus on yourself and bettering yourself. Also don't try to force chemistry with someone. If they aren't interested, move on.
Don't give up. Even if you feel suicidal. It's almost always darkest before dawn. What helped me was realizing that chasing after someone who doesn't want me is not going to change their mind. But it has the potential to completely destroy your old ways of thinking. Plus I did realize along the way that if I improved myself, exercise, cleaning the house, working on my attitude and actions, and they still rejected me, I'd still have my quality of life improvements even without them.
Start planning your life as though you're going to live it without a partner. Plan and work toward your dream job. Ideal location. Ideal house. Cultivate your friend group and hobbies. Think about whether you want to adopt kids at some point. This is the frame of mind I formed in my late 20s. And at 30 years old I unexpectedly met my spouse.
One should always do this even in a relationship, married or not. Such good advice.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and above all, have an excellent day you amazing people.